All right. Today is episode number 51. This is your host, Pablo J. Ruiz Vargas. This is the P Alpha Music Podcast. Make sure that you like our content, share our content, and also if you want to just listen to the podcast in some of the radio distribution, you can go any of the platforms which are available in Google Radio, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, in your any of your favorite distributions platforms. So today is gonna be episode 51. Is confidence a character trait? Okay. So in any case, if you want to follow along with me, you can find the article or the block on the description. Okay. All right. So let's get right into it. Is confidence a character trait? There is so much relevance in today's century around this topic. With the rise of the internet and the misinformation, it could be very confusing whether or not confidence is a character trait or not. Have you ever heard people saying, just be confident with yourself and everything will be fine? Or, be yourself and you will be a Superman. Anything along those lines, right? The reality is that these statements are starting from the position of a false premise. Let me explain to you why that is. First, let's start with what is a character trait. These are valued aspects of a person's behavior. We all have character traits. An example of these could be patient unfaithfulness or jealousy. Often, someone's character and personality are intertwined. To be confident requires an amount of practice mastering a skill or a process of experience. It is a process that continues with the dominance of believing in your own self. But how do you believe in your own self in order to acquire a confident trait? Glad you asked. For centuries, people have tried to hack this trait with numerous exercises. Exercises such as belief system, visualization, affirmation, questioning your inner critic, and care for yourself. Easy, right? Not exactly, my fellow. If that was the case, we will have less negativity and ego, but that is not the case. Negativity is something that will always haunt you forever in this world. Not only that, but negativity is also a very addictive emotion that could make families and generations to come unhappy. With these confidence exercise, you can see for yourself what is hard to maintain these character traits. Repetition and more repetition will be the meat weight to construct the mental resource that creates such traits. Your bad habits will always push your new good behavior and new positive energy. But with years and years of the exercise and along with patience, it will become a natural trait that will differentiate your presence against people around you. This will create friction from people that are closer to you, or even families though. Now that you are a confident person, the urgency of a threat to their reality will be a no-no. Is confidence a character trait? Yes, it is. It is developed through the repetition of self-adjustment in your inner game. Make it part of your life and be confident with these exercises. Develop the habit of being aware of your confidence traits. Having great qualities in your behavior is always a plus, and will always allow you to move far in your success. Okay, so you're going to just you want to read the article by yourself, you can go down the description. The link is gonna be always down. Okay, so let's deep a little bit into this. Okay. Character traits, right? Like I say, character traits is something that it can be developed. It's not something that we are all born with it. Even though there's some school that can make the argument for those things, but I'm not going to make the arguments for the opposite or even be in favor of such. Okay. Now, the character traits that I mentioned, which is patient, let's go with that one first. Patient is something that is tossed around a lot, and for some reason, it's easy to say it, right? But it's harder to even practice it. Okay, a lot of people say have patience, but they don't even practice this. What is patient? You know why? Because it's one of the hardest thing ever. Patient means that you have to just constrain your impulse. Constraining yourself to make it an action that is involuntary. And you guys know we went through this a lot. How involuntary impulse can be very hard to even adjust because it's in the subconscious. Now you have to move the subconscious to the conscious, and to the conscious to your reality, which is very hard. It's something that it's not possible, but it's hard, right? A lot of people say have patience, but do they really practice patience? Think about it. The way to master patience, right, is just to be self-aware of the impulse that can cause being impatient. This is being annoying for when you're around some people. That means when you're in the stop sign, you want to cross very quick to the other side instead of just waiting for the light or just waiting that there's no cars in around. All these small, tasks, right, is part of the trait. The next one that I mentioned is unfaithfulness. And unfaithfulness, it can be, of course, for your partner, right? Or it could be on your own self. Unfaithfulness can be that you're not being real with yourself, right? Telling people that you do some things when in reality when you go back home you do the opposite. Or telling your girlfriend that you are a faithful person but in reality you're sleeping with 30 women. Or vice versa. Telling people that you respect your family but then when you come back home you treat them like trash. All those things, right, are unfaithful actions. Okay? It's not only in relationships, right, but it can be in a community. All right? Jealousy, which again, it could be determined jealousy for, of course, the obvious one for being in a relationship when you're jealous because you think that your partner is with someone else when in reality is not the case, or being jealous because someone else is successful or has something that you don't have. He or she is successful in some things and you want those things. And you just wish the worst for them because you're jealous. You want that. Because you don't have it, you want them to go down with those things that you're jealous about. And there's just a bunch of these. I mean, you can go to Google, you can find a list of character traits. Okay, let me mention a couple of these. You have honest. Honest is one of the worst. When it comes to acquire such a trait. Because honest means that you're going to be surrounded with people that are gonna be real with you. But then it means that you're gonna lose a lot of people. You are going to lose a lot of people that said that they're even said that they're your friend, but in reality they were not. They were just part of something that you reject to be. Mhm. And another one is brave. Brave is mean that you stand for what you believe. Standing standing in things that you believe is hard because that means that you have to go against a culture. And imagine being against a culture that's just surrounded by lies. Imagine that. How that bravery is gonna result. Of course, with a lot of resistance. Be willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. It's another one. The other one is compassionate, and this one compassionate is very important that I made that mention it. And it says compassionate. This doesn't mean you have to be weak. Okay, compassionate means that you have some empathy for people, right? And you do an action, right? Because inside your heart, right, you know it's the right thing, right? It's not derived by an emotion, right? It's derived because you have a strong empathy. And the one way to develop a strong empathy is having a strong sense of self, right? This is not an emotion. Being compassionate means that you're emotional. You're compassionate with that. You start being emotional on everything. No. You start for a place of within. That means that you do something for someone, do not expect anything in return. Okay? That is compassion. Leader is another one. Just to refrain, these are confidence traits. Leaders are another one. And when you're a leader, and we can just do a list of things that are really character or traits of a leader. Leader means you are willing to listen. Leader means that you're willing to lead right on the front line. Leader means that you are determined. Leader means that you are not bossy, right? You demand, but you're not bossy. Okay. Leader means that when your followers feel low, you show them their strength. And in my experience, especially personal experience, right? Since I've been working with a lot of people, different companies, you can see a lot of these things, right? There's people in leadership positions, but then the character traits for these leadership positions are not aligned, right? So then you create a lot of incongruency. And that's when people start losing trust on the leader. And we can have another 20 minutes about this, which is one of my favorites, leadership. Okay? Loyal. We went to this one on selfish. There's a bunch of this. I mean, the most important thing is about these kind of traits, right? Is at the end of the day you develop a confidence that is unbreakable because you're always gonna have space to grow, right? But you have to be willing to accept the fact that you're not perfect, right? You always want to master a task or a set of traits, not for people, right? It's for yourself. When things are hard, when things go hard, very hard, you're ready to take them. Okay. So when you go back to work, right, and you are seeing these confidence traits, you want to write this list, right, and you want to make sure that these lists or these things are common in any leader that you're surrounded with, and that leader is not helping you, right, or these confidence people are not helping you reach your or unleash your betterment. They're not leaders. They're not confident. Confident people, they're not afraid of all the people surpassing them. You know why? Because people surpassing people with confidence, they know that they need to work. They need to be better. That's simple. That's only a door for betterments. Nothing personal. Confidence people don't take things personal. In my job, there's a lot of things that goes wrong, but I don't take it personal. Okay? I just go there and do my job. When it's time for business, it's not personal. You have to try to avoid yourself be attached to these things, right? Because in the end, you don't want to be the one is affected by it. Okay? Like I said, mastering these skills is a process and experience, and it's something that has to take time to develop with patience. And these again can be practiced with belief system that you have written down, with visualization, affirmation, all this stuff they have on my blog. You can go to my episodes, and I just could give a lot of good material regarding these kind of things. And these have to be practiced regularly. Whether it's once a month, I don't know, twice a week. It's up to you. Okay. All right. So this is episode 51. This is this confidence a character trait. Okay. Make sure again, go back to if you want to read the article, you can go to the description. Just click it. You can read it. I always have 3 new articles every week. That way people just can have a good material. They can just always share them. Make sure that you can go to different platforms and listen to the P Alpha Music and Apple Music, Google Radio, iHeart Radio, and so on and so forth. More importantly, make sure that you are being part of the community. Okay? Share with your friends, right? Get your friends a link to the videos or on the podcast. If you're listening to the Facebook and YouTube or BitChute on those 100 video platforms that are online, I'm there most of the time. The one that I'm having problem is the Daily Motion, but pretty much I'm in every other platforms, right? That way you can just link them the podcast. All right, guys. Episode 51 is confidence a character trait. I say yes, as my final conclusion, right? Right? It's always self-adjusted in your inner game, easy. Make sure that you just, be part of the community, be Alpha Music. All right? So have a good night. Adios.